Hello everyone, I'm Kuldeep. Today I'll teach you Chapter 3, The Fun They Had, written by Isaac Asimov, Class 8th. Before reading the chapter, let's know something about the author. Isaac Asimov, 1920 to 1992, was a prolific Russian-born American writer, well known for his science fiction. Prolific means productive or fruitful because he had produced many books, more than 590,000 letters, and many postcards. The word fiction means the novels, you can say stories, which describe events and people that are not real. Okay. He had the canny knack of transporting young readers' imagination to the future world, dominated by computers and robots. So the word canny means sharp or shrewd, okay? Means having or showing shrewdness or good judgment. He had good judgment. He had a good aptitude by which he can attract the young generation about the future world which is dominated by the computers and robots. It is a world of fun and fantasy, but the frightening spectacle of totally mechanical existence leads to meaningful introspection too. So means no doubt the imaginary world which is full of fun and fantasy in which different robots and machinery is being used, but at the same way it is not only fun and fantasy, but it leads to some meaningful introspection. We can look inward, okay, we can think about this world which will be full of just robot and machines. Means what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages of the machineries which will be used in future. Asimov's popular works include Nightfall Foundation, Second Foundation, The Caves of Steel, and End of Eternity. Let's know about the characters in the chapter, Margie and Tommy. Here Margie is a girl 11-year-old and Tommy is 13 years old. Next is Mrs. Jones, Margie's mother, as you can see here outside the window. Last two characters are County Inspector and the mechanical teacher. All the characters in this chapter are human beings except one, that is the mechanical teacher or robot, you can say. This is the pre-reading task. Read the questions and share your responses. So this is the part you have to solve and write down the answers. Now read the story by Isaac Asimov about the school experience of two children living in 2155. Okay, so Margie even wrote about it that night in her diary on the page headed 17 May 2155. She wrote, "Today, Tommy found a real book." So what had happened at that time? That Tommy once found a real book. Real book means the book which is printed books, which you can touch. Because class, at that very time, there were no real books, there were no printed books. All the task was done by on the computers or the robots. It was a very old book. Margie's grandfather once said that when he was a little boy, his grandfather told him that there was a time when all stories were printed on paper. So here is page number 15. Okay, for this you just open your book at page number 15 and please underline some of the words which you find difficult. For example, the first one here is the crinkly, awfully. Next here is the Z. Next you can see here is the telebooks, attic, scornful. So the word awfully means very much or very. For example, I'm awfully sorry. If we talk about the next word, attic, attic means the space or room just under the roof of a house, often used for storing things, as you can see in the picture. Next word is scornful, means a full of scorn. Okay, that means contemptuous. He smiled in a scornful way. They turned the pages, which were yellow and crinkly, and it was awfully funny to read words that stood still instead of moving the way they were supposed to on a screen, And then when they turned back to the page, before it had the same words on it that it had when they read it for the first time. So it means when they found this one very book, it was old book and the pages were full of different lines, okay, different wrinkles, that means crinkly. And it was very funny for them to read the words, because in this very book, which is a real book, and there are the printed words which don't move as compared to their TV screen. Okay, you can say the robot or mechanical teacher, wherever they read the words, they move, right? That's why it is something new for them. So it was very funny for them just to see the words. Z, said Tommy. Z here is the use for expression for just frustration, okay, or something surprise. So what a waste. When you are through with the book, you just throw it away, I guess. Our television screen must have had a million books on it, and it's good for plenty more. I wouldn't throw it away. Okay, so it means when they found this book, then Tommy remarked, what a beast. Why? Because they are comparing this book with their television screen, where they have the different telebooks which can be browsed, and they can read thousands of the pages. Okay, they can browse thousands of pages at the same time they can read the new things. That's why. Same with mine, said Maggie. She was 11 and hadn't seen as many telebooks as Tommy had. He was 13. She said, where did you find it? Just see the word telebooks. A telebook can be an online book which can be browsed, and it may have internet facility upon it, okay? It can be displayed through TV signals or TV screens. As we know, this is a fiction, imaginary story. So in that very 2150s time, there were the telebooks, there were no real books. So now Maggie asks, where did you find it? Okay, she is asking about the book. In my house, he pointed without looking, because he was busy reading. Now he again replied, in the attic. Okay, so what's it about? It's about school. Maggie was scornful about school. So scornful means he had a deep hate for school. Okay, the word scornful expressing deep hate of Maggie's for school. What's there to write about school? I hate school. The mechanical teacher had been giving her test after test in geography, and she had been doing worse and worse. So the word worse means not as good as something else. Okay, it is comparative degree of the bad. Bad, worse, worst. And now finally what happened? That her mother had shaken her head sorrowfully and sent for the county inspector. So why did she hate school? Because she was not doing good in the geography sector, okay? And the mechanical teacher had been giving her test after test. And now finally the mother was also not happy. She was also helpless. That's why she called the county inspector, okay? Now the county inspector will come. As you can see in this picture, here is the county inspector, and he was a round little man with a red face, as you can see in this picture, and he had a whole box of tools, and which is full of dials and wires. As you can see here, so many dials, okay, like watch and clocks. There are some like the meter reading, the wires. So we can guess here his task is just to operate the computer or robotic teachers. Wherever is the fault, he can set it right, okay? That's why been called by mother. And when he came, he smiled at her and gave her an apple, then took the teacher apart. Apart means he took the teacher in a separate place, okay, and in order to set it right. Then Maggie had hoped that he wouldn't know how to put it together again. okay, means he will not be able to set it right or fix it properly, but he knew how to set it all right after an hour or so. It is very important how much time was taken by the county inspector to set it all right, to fix the robotic teacher, okay, in a proper pattern. So there it was again, means again it was placed in the school room of the Magi where she used to study. Now let us know how did it look like. It was large and black and ugly. Ugly word is the opposite of the beautiful. Okay, so the mechanical teacher doesn't look good or beautiful, but it was ugly, with a big screen on which all the lessons were shown and the questions were asked. That wasn't so bad. The part she hated most was the slot where she had to put homework and test papers. She always had to write them out in punch code. They made her learn when she was 6 years old, and the mechanical teacher calculated the marks in no time. So just underline the line, okay, she hated most was the slot where she had to put homework and the test papers. No doubt she hated the mechanical teacher, but the part she hated most was the part where she had to submit her work, okay, she had to put homework. And one thing to note down is that the system of that very generation of 2150s, how do they do their work? It was not written by them, but it was done just through the punch code. And what was her age when she learned this skill to submit the work through punch code? 6 years old. In the next paragraph, just see the inspector had smiled after he was finished. Means he finished his work and the mechanical teacher was set it all right and patted her head. Okay, patted her head means he just consoled the girl. Okay, he just scared the girls because he was in tension as he was not doing the well in the geography sector. He said to her mother, "It is not the little girl's fault, Mrs. Jones. I think the geography sector was geared a little too quick." So geared a little too quick means it became a bit more faster. It was not up to her level. Those things happen sometimes. I have slowed it up to an average 10 years level. Actually, the overall pattern of her progress is quite satisfactory. And he patted Margie's head again. So here is the reason why the Margie was not doing well in the geography sector, because the system of the computer had become very fast. It was not up to her level. Next, Margie was disappointed. She had been hoping they would take the teacher away altogether. They had once taken Tommy's teacher away nearly a month because the history sector had blanked out completely. Here is another episode in which what had happened, that Tommy's mechanical teacher was also in fault, and that was taken, and it was being set after 1 month. That's why Margie is also disappointed, not happy, because she was expecting that it will also be the same case with her mechanical teacher. But no, her mechanical teacher was set within an hour or so. So she said to Tommy, "Why would anyone write about school?" Tommy looked at her with very superior eyes. "Because it is not our kind of school, stupid. This is the old kind of schools they had hundreds and hundreds of years ago," he added loftily, pronouncing the words carefully. "Centuries ago." So here is important to know what had happened with the Tommy's teacher. Okay, that Tommy's teachers was in fault for what purposes? Because history sector had blanked out completely. Okay, and it was set right. Okay, made it right within 1 month at least. Now, so she said to Tommy, "Why would anyone write about school?" Because she hated the school. The school of that very generation in which they were taught by the mechanical teachers or the robots. But now he told her that the book is not dealing with these kind of schools. Okay, and these are the schools about the centuries ago. Okay, the kind of school they had hundreds and hundreds of years ago. Maggie was hurt, and well, I don't know what kind of schools they had all that time ago. She read the book over his shoulder for a while, for a short time, then said, anyway, they had a teacher. Sure, they had a teacher, but it wasn't a regular teacher. So regular teacher means a robotic teacher, because robots are always regular. Okay, they don't fall sick and so and so. That's why it's called the regular teacher. Okay, it was a man. It was a human being. A man? How could a man be a teacher? Now Maggie is surprised that how a man can be a teacher, because in that very generation, mans are not teacher. Human beings are not teacher, because there are the robots that used to teach. Well, he just told the boys and girls things and gave them homework and asked them questions. So means now the Tommy is telling her about the teacher, that yeah, definitely human beings were teacher. They used to tell the things, means the teach to the boys and the girls, gave them homework and asked them questions. A man isn't smart enough. Now she put again a question. Then Tommy said, sure, he is. My father knows as much as my teacher. A man can't know as much as a teacher. He knows almost as much, I bet. Okay, so both they are arguing on this topic about that whether a man can be a teacher or not. So he knows almost as much, I bet. Yeah, I'm certain, I'm sure. Maggie wasn't prepared to dispute that. She said, I wouldn't want a strange man in my house to teach me. Now Margie accepts, if the man is a teacher, then I will not allow him to, because anyone stranger, how can he teach me in my own room? Then Tommy screamed with laughter. Okay, you don't know much, Margie. And the teacher didn't live in the house, means he will not come to your home to teach you. They had a special building and all the kids went there. So Tommy made her clear that it is the real schools where all the kids or children used to play together, read together, okay? And all the kids learn the same things. Sure, if they were the same age. This is what told by the Tommy. Now Maggie is saying, but my mother says a teacher had to be adjusted in it as per the mind of each boy and girl he teaches, and that each kid has to be taught differently. Then again she gave argument, because the robotic teacher, they were set as per the level of the each individual child. How can a man can teach to the students, those having the different IQ level, the different capacity to learn? Now the Tommy said just the same. Okay, they didn't do it with the way. Then if you don't like it, if you don't like means reading the book, you don't have to read the book. I didn't say I didn't like it, but Maggie said quietly, okay, she wanted to read about those funny schools, okay, the real schools. They were not even half finished when Maggie's mother called Maggie school. Okay, so it means it is the time of the Maggie to just attend the school. And Maggie looked up. Not yet, Mama. Now, said Mrs. Jones, and it is probably time for Tommy's too. Okay, so mother is telling her that it is the time of the Tommy also to join the schools, just to study. So Maggie said to Tommy, can I read the book some more with you after school? It means Maggie is taking an interest to know about the schools, the old kind of schools, okay, the real schools, and she want to read the book after this. Yeah, maybe he said nonchalantly, means calmly, peacefully, and he walked away whistling, and the dusty old book tucked beneath his arm, means he, when he was going, he was whistling, and he had kept the book under his arm when he left that scene, okay? And both of they went their rooms that are called the school rooms, where the robotic teacher will come, as you can see in this picture which been given here, okay? Yeah, so Maggie went into the school room. It was right next to her bedroom. This is again very important line. It was right next to her bedroom. So where was Margie's school? It is in her own house, and it is right next to her bedroom, right? And the mechanical teacher was on and waiting for her. Mechanical teacher was already there waiting for her, and it was always on at the same time. That's why we call the regular, okay? Except Saturday and Sunday. Saturday and Sunday was off because her mother said little girls learn better if they learn at regular hours. The screen was lit up, means screen was lighted, okay, and there was something written. Today's arithmetic lesson is on addition of proper fractions, and please insert your yesterday's homework in the proper slot. So means before continuing the next chapter, that robotic teacher want her to just insert the previous day work. Margie did so with a sigh, okay? With a sigh means just she was not interested in order to submit the previous day work. She was thinking something different. She was thinking about all schools they had when her grandfather was a little boy. All the kids were from the whole neighborhood came laughing and shouting in the schoolyard, okay? So she's thinking about those schools being mentioned in the diary, the real schools, because in that very generations, the story in which was set, there were no schools, such schools, sitting together in the schoolroom, going home together. At the end of the day, when school is over, they learn the same things as they could help one another in the homework and talk about it. So means he's thinking about all those old schools in which all the kids, from the whole neighborhoods, they go, play, laugh, shout, okay, make fun. And the teachers were people. The mechanical teacher was flashing on the screen, okay, means the mechanical teacher is just teaching her, and a screen is flashing on when we add the fraction 1.2 and 1.4, means this is what statement is from the computer side. But Margie was thinking about how the kids must have loved it, the old days. She was thinking about the fun they had. So here is the title of the story, The Fun They Had, okay? So the Margie is thinking about the schools of this old generation, okay? The old generation is the generation in which we all people or you all people are studying, because the story was set up about 2150s time. So if you understand the story, okay, whatever I have taught to you, then you just see your book and please try to complete the following statement, okay? Just on the basis of your understanding, you just complete it. So this is the homework for you people. And if you like the videos, please like it and don't forget to comment so I can do better something for you the next time. Thank you. Have a great day.